Hello everybody! Today we're talking about the human body. Sort of. Today we're talking about physical descriptions. Now physical descriptions are probably the only descriptions I really enjoy writing. Well, that and violence. I do enjoy describing violence. But let's pretend I'm not batshit crazy just for a second, alright? My favorite part of writing is creating characters, and that includes painting a picture of what they look like. And over the years, I've learned a thing or two about what makes a good character description and what makes a crappy character description, and I'm here to share the knowledge. These are my do's and don'ts for writing physical descriptions. All of these do's and don'ts are based off of my own personal preferences, as well as feedback I've received from beta readers and other writers. So let's get to it, shall we? Do describe your characters. This piece of advice is open to debate. Some writers think that physical descriptions are completely unnecessary. They'd rather let the audience create their own image of the character in their mind. And to some degree, I understand this mentality. People tend to envision a character the way they want to envision them. They see them in a way that's familiar and comfortable to them. But still, as a reader, I like to be told what a character looks like. If I'm reading a book and I don't get a physical description, I'ma be pissed. Until I get a physical description, that character is just an invisible blob in my mind. I am waiting for that description, and it's really hard to connect with a character that you can't even visualize. So while this piece of advice is a judgment call, I say do it. Describe your damn characters. I personally like to give my most important characters a very detailed description, and then the supporting characters get maybe a couple of sentences. I also think it's good to describe the characters as soon as possible. For the protagonist, the description should be somewhere in the first chapter, and for the supporting characters, it should be somewhere in their introduction. Don't overload the reader with metaphors. His eyes were as blue as the ocean. Her lips were red, luscious pillows. His yellow gaze was as piercing as a tiger. Seriously? Look, an analogy or a metaphor is fine here and there, but keep it under control, okay? Because this shit can get real cheesy real fast. How many times have you heard the phrase, as blue as the ocean? A lot. It's not pretty or romantic, it's trite. Crystal blue eyes, red pillowy lips, and piercing amber gaze work just fine. And if you must use an analogy, at least try to think of something unique. Her hair was as black as the night, as a raven. That's all been done before. Maybe her hair can be as black as ink. Maybe it can be as black as Jenna Moreci's soul. I don't think anyone's used that last one yet, so feel free. But just try to remember that metaphors in large doses are a recipe for eye rolls and face palmage. Do focus on important features. Most readers are gonna forget half the descriptions you lay out for them, so make sure you focus on the important stuff. Things to potentially think about: eye color and shape, hair color, length, and texture, lips, facial structure including jaw, chin, and cheekbones, the shape of their nose, the color of their skin. Then we get below the neck. What's their general body type? Are they tall? Are they short? Muscular? Thin? Curvy? Give us the goods. You also want to think about physical quirks. If the characters have any defining features that separate them from every other Joe Blow in the book, mention it. I'm talking about scars, tattoos, a unique hairstyle or facial hair, heterochromia, freckles, I could go on. Even if someone has a crooked nose or really big boobs, that's memorable. Certainly the boobs are. Now, I'm not saying you need to list all these things. In fact, you really shouldn't. Like really, tone it down. But these are the things you should be thinking about when you're describing them. Choose the handful of descriptors that you think are the most important and memorable and go with them. Don't compare them to a celebrity. This is cheating. It's cheap, and it's cheating. She was the spitting image of Angelina Jolie. He looked just like hunky Chris Hemsworth. You, my friend, are lazy. This doesn't work for a few reasons. One, you want the character to stand on their own. They should feel like a real person, not a fake person being played by an actor. If you want the character to look like Chris Hemsworth, describe Chris Hemsworth. Maybe the reader will imagine Chris Hemsworth in their mind. Maybe they won't. It really doesn't matter because by the time the book is in their hands, it's their fantasy, and they get to imagine him however they want. 2, comparing your character to a celebrity immediately dates the book. What if someone reads your book 40 years from now and they're like, Angelina Jolie? But she's a little old lady. I mean, I find it hard to believe that little old Angelina can participate in all these acrobatic sex scenes, but alright if you insist. She must be doing a lot of water fitness after bingo. It's okay to base a character's appearance after a celebrity. It's okay to imagine the character as that celebrity in your mind. But refusing to write the description and just slapping the celebrity into the book is bad form. Do pay attention to your protagonist's relationship with the character. In my opinion, the depth of the description you give to the character directly depends on their relationship to the protagonist. Likewise, the way the protagonist interacts with the character also determines how they're going to be described. For example, if you give a super sexualized description to the protagonist's mom, that's gross. Unless your book is about banging your mom, this is a mistake. Although a book about banging your mom might be a mistake all on its own, but I digress. It's okay if you want the reader to know that the protagonist's mom is beautiful, but keep in mind that the protagonist doesn't find her sexy. Most people, no matter how hot their mom is, will never see her as having the perfect figure or amazing breasts. You can communicate the hotness without grossing the reader out. Now, paying attention to the protagonist's relationship to the character is especially relevant if the character is the love interest. If the protagonist meets the love interest and is instantly attracted to them, then right from the get-go, you can give that person a lengthy, uber-fine description. But if your character is just casually meeting the person and thinks nothing of it, a brief description will do. Later on, once the feeling arises and the attraction builds, then it'll be a lot more relevant to get into the sexy details. It would be sort of weird if your protagonist has zero opinion on the guy and yet the author found it necessary to describe just how chiseled his abs are. Descriptions like this feel out of place because they're not authentic to the moment. If the protagonist doesn't care about the dude's abs, why are you describing them? Don't say they're hot. It's okay if the protagonist thinks they're hot, but you can't just say he had green eyes, blonde hair, and was drop-dead gorgeous. This is a cop-out. More importantly, it tells your reader that you don't trust your own ability to describe the person correctly. You don't think you can make it clear through the description alone that this character is hot, so you're just gonna flat out say it. Trust me when I say, you can do it. Describe the hotness you see in your mind. Large green eyes, defined jaw, broad shoulders, full lips. Sounds hot to me. And really, what's gonna make them hot to the reader is how they behave, the things they say, the way they interact with their love interest. That's what sells the hotness. So while it's perfectly fine to include a line of dialogue where your protagonist says, "Wow, that boy is fine," or they say, "Oh, she is beautiful," you don't need to rely on that, and you certainly don't need to nix the description for a blanket hot statement. Describe what you see in your mind. If you think it's hot, chances are other people will too. So that's it for today. Get out there and describe the shit out of your characters. Make them pretty. Make them ugly. I don't care, it's your book. A quick announcement, I just wanted to thank everyone for making the release of my book, Eve the Awakening, such a huge success. I really did not expect it to be as big as it was, and the reviews, holy shit! They are so good. So thank you so much for checking out Eve and for all of your kind words. I've been reading all of your messages. You guys have been so nice. You've been loving the story and you just cannot imagine how much that means to me. You guys make my mechanical heart swell. On that note, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays. Buy Eve the Awakening. It's available on Amazon in ebook and paperback right now. Huzzah! And if you have any questions or if there's something you'd like me to talk about in my next video, you can leave me a comment or tweet me at Jenna Moreci. Bye!